also love the fact that in India, family has first priority.
I also love the beautiful Indian landscape.
If you like mountains, if you like beaches, if you like jungles, wildlife, we have everything.
My favorite meal right now is khichdi. I'm in love. I have it every day. There's so much to love, like Jai Hind.
Hi, my name is Ivana, and last Friday, the 14th of January 2022, I actually just completed 4 years of living in India. I grew up in a tiny European country called the Netherlands, but better known for its capital, Amsterdam. I have many videos on why I left, which are linked in the description below, but India was and is my favorite country in the world ever since I set foot on its soil. Landing in Bengaluru on January 14th, 2018, I didn't know if I'd be able to live in the city and make my dream a reality of not just traveling in India, but actually working and living here. Oh my goodness, finally back in India. It feels so good. And again, it feels like coming home. From finding my first apartment to meeting my first flatmate Nishta,
I'm Nishka. This is my roommate. Yeah.
who became my Indian sister, to now adopting my Indian fur daughter Bambi and getting to show off the best of this country, Mother India always took care of me. With her blessing, I'm here living my dream life in my favorite country in the world. But even though foreigners living in India are quite rare, I'm not the only one. So where you normally only hear me raving about India on this channel, I had a different idea for my 4-year anniversary. In order to celebrate this anniversary, I asked some of my foreigner friends why they love living in India. And of course, at the end of this video, I'm also going to give my reasons. So make sure to stick around until the end. And without further ado, let's see what my friends have to say.
Namaste Ivana, and सबसे पहले, congratulations for living in India since 4 wonderful years. You were one of the first YouTuber I was following, and your videos about India were super helpful when I firstly came to India. I'm living here now since almost 1 year, and I'm super happy to have a friend around like you. So cheers to many more years with you in India. Okay, let's talk about the reasons why do I love living in India. And I think the biggest reason is that there are veg, healthy options available on every corner in India. And I'm not gonna lie, there's not one single day passing without me having at least one Indian meal per day. Another reason why I love living in India is the Indian culture. I love the traditions, I love the old rituals, I love the celebrations all over the year. And I love the fact that there's every month at least one reason to get dressed up and learn something new about India. I also love the fact that in India, family has first priority. And that tells a lot about the mindset, since I experienced that Indians are really friendly, warm and welcoming people.
One of the things I like most about India is the South Indian breakfast. 1 puri,
1 puri,
2 idli, 1 vada. The best breakfast in the world. Also, chai on the street, has to be on the street, has to be in the little small glass, which is completely illogical because it gets so hot you can't hold it, but for some reason it tastes better out of the small burning hot glass. I also love the beautiful Indian landscape that can be so diverse. Where I'm staying here in Tamil Nadu, it is beautiful to go for drives in the country.
My name is Tena. I am originally from Croatia. I am the founder of Project Kal, which is a social enterprise which deals with masculinities and reimagining positive masculinities in South India. We work with young men and boys ages 14 to 18. And I'm also a very proud Indian, South Indian daughter-in-law. I moved to India 3 years ago from Dubai. So out of those 3 years, obviously, a year and a half has been the COVID years. But even with that, I think India is one of the most exciting places in the world to live in. What I most love about it is how vibrant the arts and culture and the intellectual scene is. And also how just wonderful and exciting it is to explore India. If you like mountains, if you like beaches, if you like jungles, wildlife, we have everything.
Anything else you want to add?
Ivana is the best.
You are the sweetest.
Hi, my name is Miriam. I'm originally from Toronto, Canada. I've been living in Bangalore for 6 years now. And I'm a nail artist here. And so some of my favorite things about India, hands down, is my rickshaw ride, the food, the culture, and my favorite meal right now is khichdi. I'm in love, I have it every day. Some other things that I really adore here are the people. They are so hospitable, so friendly, so loving. You really feel like you're at home anywhere in India, wherever you go. I love the weather. I love the fact that monsoon season is only like 2 months, and then you have the sun, and then you have this pleasant mix of like summer and winter. It's hard to explain from like the months of September to January, but it's the best. There's so much to love, like Jai Hind.
I was just editing this video and I realized I really need to make a disclaimer about the things that I'm about to say, because all the things that my friends have mentioned, I have already mentioned in dozens of videos before this. And of course, they have already mentioned that, so I didn't want to repeat. So I decided to dive into the topic of quality of life and elaborate a little bit more on that, especially in the context of a lot of young Indians really wanting to move abroad because they think that the quality of life there is better. And I just wanted to give another perspective to that, because I don't think that's necessarily true. So when you're watching me speak about the quality of life here in India in the following part, just keep that in mind. I obviously agree with everything that my friends are saying, but I've already mentioned that so many times and I didn't want to repeat that. So that's why I decided to add another layer to this perspective and just shed a different light on life in India. So yeah, if you have an opinion about that, or maybe if you're triggered about something that I'm saying, let me know down in the comments below, and obviously we can talk more there. Without further ado, let's see what I think about the quality of life in India. Of course, I second everything that my friends have already mentioned, and I would like to add to that the main reason why I love living in India, which was actually the main reason why I decided to shift from the Netherlands and start my life in India. That reason is, for me personally, that I feel my quality of life in India is a lot better than it used to be in the Netherlands. And there are actually two main reasons for that. The first one is the weather. I've mentioned this before and it actually surprises a lot of people. I will elaborate about that a little bit in the end. And then the second reason is that you can get so much help here in India easily, that your life actually becomes a lot more easier as well. And I'm going to start out with that one actually, because it is the main discussion point that starts in the comments whenever I mention that the quality of life in India for me is actually better than it was in the Netherlands, especially from my Indian viewers who live and work in the Netherlands, because they feel that the work-life balance in the Netherlands is a lot better than it used to be in India. I don't know what kind of job you have in the Netherlands, and yes, I can definitely vouch that if you have like a regular company job or a government job, you will definitely leave your work at 5 p.m., be home at 6 p.m., but then at the same time, you will also have to do a lot of domestic housework yourself, because that's not common to get in the Netherlands. I'll elaborate on that in a second, but if you're working a corporate job in the Netherlands or are an entrepreneur, which I did both, to be very honest, I don't feel there's that much difference with the work-life balance between the Netherlands and India. Yes, I see my Indian friends in corporate jobs having conference calls at 10 p.m., working in the weekends, but to be very honest, for the 6 years that I worked in the corporate world in the Netherlands, that's also what I used to do. I used to have conference calls at 10 p.m. in the evening. I used to work in the weekends. it's literally all the same. And especially being an entrepreneur in the Netherlands, I used to work 7 days a week. I see entrepreneurs in India working 7 days a week. It's normal if you're an entrepreneur. Work-life balance, my goodness, I don't think I've had a proper work-life balance ever since I left college. It's actually getting better in India now. And that's what I wanted to elaborate on because of all the options that you have to get domestic help. Because yes, in the Netherlands, you will reach home by 6 p.m. probably if you're working in a normal company or a government job, but at the same time, you also have to do all your domestic chores yourself. So your dinner, you will have to cook it yourself after you come home tired from all the work that you have done all day. Your home, you will have to clean it yourself. Your car, you've probably driven it home yourself. Whereas in India, it's super common if you even have a mildly middle-class job to hire a driver, to hire a cook, and especially to hire a domestic help to help you and keep your house clean. And no, don't hit me with that BS in the comments that I'm living the rich expat life, because I've heard from plenty of my Indian friends that even in their college years, it was common when they lived in a PG to hire somebody to come in and help them clean the PG and also cook them 2 fresh meals a day. Absolutely unimaginable to get that kind of help in the Netherlands. As a student in the Netherlands, you're probably going to be eating Maggie a lot. You're definitely going to be scrubbing your own room, sometimes even the common washrooms if you're living in one of those student housing areas. Getting help for that, which I think makes life in India so much easier. It's easier for me to be an entrepreneur in India. It would have been a lot easier for me to work in the corporate world in India, getting all the help that you can get here, and which is quite common actually. It's normal from even a lower middle class level. But that's not the main reason why I think my quality of life in India is a lot better than it was in the Netherlands, because I am a person who gets cold very easily. Anything below 27 degrees is chilly for me. So imagine a person like me growing up in the Netherlands where 95% of the time it is Dementor weather, as I like to call it. So gray, gloomy, raining, cold, wind blowing in your face. It was just detrimental to my mental health. It was making me a very miserable, unhappy person to spend most of my time indoors, because it was almost physically impossible for me to step outside. It was just too cold. And no, I don't want to hear any of that Dutch, like, je moet hard zijn nonsense. No, we live in a world where we have options that our parents and our grandparents never had. So if I have an option where I can move to a country like India and live in a city like Bangalore, where 95% of the time the temperature doesn't even dip below 20 degrees and the average temperature is 27 degrees, why wouldn't you do that? I am so much more of a happier person living in a city where the sun shines, let's say 300 days out of the 365 days a year. Almost every single day for me is happy. Of course, my life's not perfect, but I am so happy waking up to the sunshine on most of my days. And even in the lockdowns, just being able to sit on my balcony and enjoy the sun. It's amazing. And it just made my quality of life, I don't even know how to express that. Phenomenal, magnificent, unimaginably good. I never imagined how much more my life, my overall mental health, and just my overall happiness would improve living in a country, or living actually in a city where the sun shines most of the time. Yes, I know it's not sunny all over India right now. In Delhi, it's probably 5 degrees. Manali, it's snowing. But I couldn't be living in those cities either. There's a reason why I chose Bangalore, or why I will always live in a warm city, hence for the rest of my life, because it just makes me an overall very happy person, and it has really changed my life for the better in so many ways that I can't even explain. So thank you so much to all of my friends who contributed to this video. Thank you so much for you who have joined me on this journey, for all your support throughout all these years. Well, actually, whether you're joined from whenever I started traveling, maybe just yesterday. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope this video gave you an insight why life in India is so freaking awesome despite maybe other stories that you've heard. I really, really love living here, and I hope to have many more anniversaries in the future. In case you are not yet subscribed to my newsletter, you can do that on my website. I just recently sent out a newsletter writing about the 4 lessons that I learned from 4 years living in India. So if you would like to keep up with me there, you can head over to my website, link down in the description below. You can also like this video if you enjoyed it. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more of my videos in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!